You're listening to the Cruise Tips TV Unplugged podcast, episode number 100. Today, we're celebrating 100 episodes and 2 years of podcasting with an episode about our top 10 travel moments.
Well, hello.
Hello. How are you?
You look gorgeous in this light. I will say that right now.
Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, man, we've got quite the setup here today, don't we?
We do.
So you guys, this is our 100th podcast episode. It's been 2 years, approximately 2 years since we started this adventure. And wow, what a ride. And there is something different that's happening today. Mr. Cruise Tips TV and I are in the studio, but instead of just doing an audio recording, we have a couple of cameras rolling, which is a first time. Camera 1, camera 2. And we're giving this whole podcast recording thing a try. We're going to, if it goes well, we're going to post it on our YouTube channel. If it went well, hi YouTube. Good to see ya. And Mr. Cruise Tips TV, thank you for doing this. I know it's probably a little bit out of your comfort zone, but I love that we're trying something different.
It is different.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
So, I'm feeling fine. Let's talk about the podcast before. Let's do a little retrospective here. It's always been easy, right? Like right out of the gate, it was super easy.
No, it's been difficult, unnatural. We feel like rookies. We don't know what we're doing. It was the most nerve-wracking thing in the world in the beginning, but now it definitely feels more natural.
I don't feel like we've got our mojo yet. I'll be honest. I think we're approaching mojo, but I think there are so many things that keep us from hitting that mojo that we've still got a ways to go.
Mojo pending.
Mojo pending.
Mojo pending. Well, we will get there. And we've had a lot of great ideas from our community over the past 2 years. And I think we have to remember that a whole entire year of this podcast has taken place during the pandemic, right? So that makes it kind of unique because do people really want to hear cruise tips right now? Well, some people do and some people don't. So I think that part of that mojo will come back too when cruising comes back.
So we've been talking for a year about something that no one can do.
Yes, exactly. That, my friend, is indeed true.
Yes, that is a little bit of a challenge.
It is a little bit of a challenge. But alas, yep, that's the background of the podcast. It still feels a little bit new. It's getting more comfortable, but we are having a great time. And today we decided to celebrate the occasion with a discussion about our top 10 best travel moments. And we are going to counterbalance this list possibly next week, possibly in a week or two, with our top 10 worst list. Now, we're optimists here at Cruise Tips TV. We don't like to talk about negative things very often, but sometimes it is kind of fun to talk about the blunders, the bad days, or the things that just didn't go so well. And we've got a fun, if you can call it fun, list of our worst travel experiences coming together too, but we'll deliver it in an entertaining and not so negative way, I promise.
Well, sometimes your worst days are the best stories. So I think that's what I'm hoping for in this next episode is that those are going to be the really good stories. They're funny. I mean, to say the least, they're funny.
For the most part, they're funny. A couple of them are a little bit sad and unfortunate.
And maybe relatable.
Yeah,
I think that at least a few of them are going to be very relatable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what about today, though?
Today, we're talking about our top 10 travel moments. And spoiler alert, they are not all cruise moments. So there's going to be a little bit of a departure from cruise here, now, and then. It should be good, though.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get started. Now, these are not in any particular order. So when I say that there are top 10 moments, number 1 doesn't mean that it was the best. It just is the first thing that I thought of. But the first thing that I thought of was really the most recent trip that I have been on. And it was the trip to Cabo San Lucas with my mom and Junior last February. We actually went with my company for my day job. And it was one of the most memorable vacations of my life. And there's so many different reasons for that. I think sometimes you're expecting something to just be okay. Oh, it'll be another trip to an all-inclusive in Cabo. Not that we've done a million of those, but we've done a few. And, sometimes those trips are great, but maybe the food isn't that great, or the beach isn't that great, or the trip is too short. But this one just exceeded our expectations in every single way.
So let me stop you right here. Like the first one that you're coming up with is the one that I didn't go with you
sorry,
on. Okay, I just want to be clear, and I hope there's no correlation there.
It's the last one I added to the list, so it really is. It's not by any means number one. Look, mister, what did I say at the beginning of this? Is that it's not in any particular order.
I'm not going to let you get away with it.
You would have had a wonderful time on that trip, by the way. You would have loved watching Junior play soccer on the beach with all the kids. You would have enjoyed the pool. Even though you're not a big pool and hot tub guy, this is a pool you would have liked. It kind of looked out over the sea. The food was exceptional, especially for an all-inclusive, and our room was beautiful. I had a huge bathtub in it. You would have loved it.
So that's your encapsulation of why it's one of your best travel moments?
No.
Aside from the fact that I wasn't there.
Stop it.
Right?
The encapsulation is the quality time with my mom and my child.
Okay. All
and
right.
of course, it was a really special company event too, so we got to do a cool award ceremony and things like that. But it was the time with my mom. I really feel that my mom got to relax and unwind. And I feel like the time that we spent with her, just that one-on-one, me, Junior, her, just the three of us for 5 great nights was super special. And I will say the Hyatt Ziva was an incredible resort. Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos, if anyone's looking to try something out. Good food, expansive, giant pools, beautiful beach. You cannot swim in the beach, but a great time. I highly recommend it. So good.
Check my memory, but isn't this when I was working like 24/7 on the website?
You're just going to keep making me feel bad about this one, aren't you?
No, it's okay. I was slaving without sleep, just running on pure coffee.
You lost like 5 pounds. I came home and he was like thinner. He was like skinny when I got home.
But the website's better.
And website was incredible.
And we've got like one of your best travel moments ever. So.
Yes. Listen, we strategically planned this as a couple, honey.
I know.
So tell the people the truth. We sat down at the table and said, you know what? This is a trip for Grammy and Junior. It's not a trip for you. You had a big project to work on. Sometimes the corporate incentive trips are a lot for me too, because I'm dealing with different events and things. And so we thought it wouldn't necessarily be like a family vacation. And it was better that you stayed home. So, okay, now that everybody thinks that I'm a jerk.
Number 2.
Number 2 is actually one of my favorite memories with you. And it is sail away on our first cruise together, which was Diamond Princess out of Los Angeles.
And it's funny because I didn't come up with my own list, but I did start thinking about this when we discussed the topic. And this immediately popped up. And it seems like such a simple thing, but it was really an experience that was completely unforgettable. I'll let you get into it, but then come back to me here and I'll tell you why it was unforgettable for me.
Okay, sounds good. Now, we're not talking about like a sail away party here or any special event that we went to. We're talking about the feeling, the moment of a first day on a first cruise for him and me together. I had gone on a small carnival ship in my teens, so this was a very different experience. But I look back at the pictures and I see us sitting on the balcony with our little portable speaker and a bottle of red wine, and it was just us and 7 days of relaxation out ahead of us and a totally new experience. We had packed, we had planned, we had scoured the message boards. We were so ready and we were in that moment. So for me, that's what I think about. I just think about sheer bliss and the joy of looking forward to the entire remainder of the cruise and not really knowing what that looked like yet for us together.
It is that anticipation of having everything out in front of you. But there's a lot that, at least for me, built up to that because we were at a time in our lives when we were really struggling. We were struggling to make ends meet. We were struggling to, get our positions in our jobs. And we were both working very high stress jobs at the time. And it was just a huge release to think that we get to get away from that for 7 days. So the minute that ship pushed away from the dock, it was like, that's it.
Yeah.
7 glorious days with my beautiful wife and nothing. And this is back in a time where you really were disconnected. Once this ship pulled away, you were pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the
you could check your email,
but it was
if you
it really wasn't worth it.
Right. Trust me, it wasn't worth it. You found out the hard way.
Yeah, you could wait for 45 minutes and still nothing. But anyway, different unrelated issue, but it was such a release, and to have that out in front of you, it's just such a beautiful experience.
It was, and I think we also discovered that even though we were trying to make ends meet and we were a young couple kind of figuring things out financially in an expensive town, we did find that cruising could be affordable for us. And the Mexican Riviera is known to be an affordable cruise destination, so that was pretty special. Okay, now number 3, which again, these are no particular order, actually influenced number 2. And our number 3 top 10 travel moment, I think we can both agree upon, was that we spent Christmas in Paris, not once, but twice. And as a couple, that was incredibly romantic. Once when we lived in Madrid, we traveled to Paris for Christmas. We thought, oh, how neat would it be to be along the river and be along all those Christmas trees? And oh my goodness, is it romantic to visit the Notre Dame Cathedral with the lighting of all those candles and just that's the sacred nature of those moments. And being there during the holidays is incredibly beautiful and romantic, just the way that they deck out the downtown. A lot like a lot of other big cities, Chicago, New York, they do things like that as well. But boy, is Paris romantic. So we did that early in our relationship. And then in the early 2000s, we actually decided, let's go back to Paris. Let's go back to Paris and experience that again. And it was an amazing trip. It was beautiful, but we were getting to the point in our life where we started to feel things differently. For example, the cold. We were freezing the whole time, and it was a chilly trip. It was romantic and great, but I also got my ATM card stuck in an ATM machine, which was like our primary source of money, and had a very difficult time getting it back. And that kind of, I don't want to say it soured me, but I remember walking along the cold streets of Paris on that wonderful trip and thinking, my next vacation is going to be warm and sunny, and I kind of think I want it to be a cruise. And so then I believe it was 1 or 2 years later is when we went on that first cruise together on the Diamond Princess. So the Paris trip was amazing, but it kind of influenced wanting to go on a warmer weather experience.
Yeah, and your ATM card was eaten on the second trip, right?
Yes.
And you say that
that
was our primary source of money at the time.
Right.
On the second trip.
Yes.
The difference is on the first trip, we didn't have any money, and we were
college students, basically.
It was a crazy experience. I remember it very clearly. I literally had holes in my shoes, and the snow was like seeping up through the holes in my shoes.
That. Walking through Bruges,
and it was cold.
It was cold,
and it was. Yeah, it's a kid thing, right? I mean, it's a college kid thing, and it was such a great experience.
Yes. Speaking of snow, yeah, both times it was incredible. But I think that we were like, okay, I think we want something easy breezy and nice and cozy. And cruising is that. Cruising is very relaxing. You don't have to lift a finger. Your ATM card typically doesn't get stuck anywhere. Right? So it was pretty great. All right. Speaking of snow, Mr. Cruise Tips TV, number 4 is a good one. It was waking up in Japan, our first day of our cruise to Japan, and seeing snow-capped Mount Fuji from the port of Shimizu. That is probably one of my all-time favorite cruise moments. I'm talking about just like that moment that you'll never forget. Many people had said that Fuji would be shrouded in clouds and that we wouldn't be able to see it. And so I was so excited to wake up. I remember feeling kind of tearful, and I remember bringing out the camera so that I could vlog it and show it to you guys. I had literally bed head and bed face, and I didn't care. I just got right out in front of the camera and said, look, you guys, this is unbelievable. But Mount Fuji, which the Japanese refer to, by the way, as Fujisan, is the highest mountain in Japan, rising 12,388 feet. Now, if you think about, like, comparatively, Mammoth Mountain, I think, is at 10,000 feet, so that's pretty tall. But what makes it so incredibly beautiful and spectacular is its proximity to the Pacific Ocean on the coast in Yamanashi and the Shizuoka prefectures. So you're talking, we're about 60 miles from Tokyo, the Yokohama metropolitan area here. And Fuji is actually a volcano that has been dormant since its last eruption, which is in 1707, but geologists say it's still somewhat active. So knowing all of that and being in the presence of such grandeur, in total silence, by the way, there was really no sound that morning. And there were other cruise passengers up on deck experiencing the same thing. And we would kind of quietly walk over to each other to talk about how it felt at that moment. But we spoke so quietly because no one really wanted to lose the moment. So you'd say, hello, what do you think about this? Can you believe that we're beholding this moment? And the other person would say, I'm so glad I got up early. And it was pivotal for me in those experiences. Hard to explain, but so incredibly grateful that I got to have that that morning.
You know, one unique thing about that I remember is it's one of the few occasions where I was up before you.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you remember, my sleep patterns had gotten all thrown out of whack.
Yes.
And I was up super early, and I went and I said, I'm going to go look around and see if I can get any sunrise photos or video. And I saw Mount Fuji. And I came back to the cabin and said, I see it. And you said, no, you can't be seeing it. And I said, yes, I see it. It's out there. So that kind of sticks out in my memory as one of the unique things about that particular experience.
I had forgotten about that.
And then
I hadn't slept, though.
We were thinking this is as good as it's going to get. You know, this distant view of Mount Fuji is going to be it.
Yeah.
But then we got these crystal blue skies and
pretty much all day.
Yeah, all day. It was awesome.
Even pulling out of port, I remember sitting in the hot tub with my feet up on the side and seeing Fuji trickle into the distance, didn't it? Yeah. So incredible, absolutely beautiful day. We hope to see Fuji-san again in the very near future. It is incredible. When you speak to the locals about it, they're very passionate about Mount Fuji as well, and it's so interesting. We met a local that day that we still stay in touch with, and she just absolutely loves Mount Fuji and has expressed her reverence for Mount Fuji. Fuji-san. I think it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site as well, but I'll have to look that up. Not 100% sure. Anyway, that definitely makes number 4. Okay, number 5 could not be any more different, you guys. This is definitely different, but my number 5 travel memory, and I know that you and Junior will join me in this, is our day at Perfect Day at Coco Key. Come on, how crazy fun
cool.
was that?
Yeah.
Wasn't that just one of the best days ever?
It's such a unique experience because at least from my perspective, when you think about something like that, you think about an amusement park or maybe a traditional water slide park, but it's really not like that. It's something all on its own. And I really had a blast.
It was wonderful. Exhausting, but in the best possible way. And this is one of those times when you, being in good shape, came to light because you and Junior were running circles around me. You guys were going hard on those water slides. And it's like, this is what you run for.
Well,
this is what you stay in shape for.
Yeah, you have to fill in the blank here that all those slides come with stairs.
Massive amounts of them.
Lots of stairs. And me and Junior were literally running up the stairs. We were just having a ball.
There are no elevators or escalators at Perfect Day, folks. You're on your own. Oh, man, did I wish that Daredevil's Peak, getting up to the top of those slides had some kind of an elevator. How lazy am I? But that's okay.
Well, at least you have a quick way down.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, you do. And unfortunately, it's a very quick way down. You're like at the bottom before you snap your fingers and you're thinking, okay, how long did it take me to climb those stairs? It's pretty intense. There's a reason why I only did the big one once. What is that one called? Is it Dueling Demons? No, yeah. Daredevil's Peak. Daredevil's Peak here is the one that is 135 feet high. I can't even read this.
The Dueling Demons, I think, is a drop. And
I didn't like that one.
It's built in the same structure as the Devil's Peak.
Dueling Demons 2 drop slides. No, thank you. Didn't like that. Scared the devil out of me.
It's a fast way down.
No pun intended. It's a fast way down. Too fast. I don't like that weightless feeling when the chute drops out of the bottom. Not my jam. So some facts about Perfect Day while we're here, you guys. I printed off their facts and figures sheet, and I have kind of a sad fact for you guys. Oh, this one's so sad. They were expecting 2 million guests in 2020. They had 1 million guests expected in 2019, expecting 2 million in 2020. That just makes me sad. I saw that fact and I'm like, oh, that's so sad. But cool fact, did you know that 357 employees live on the island? Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Very
That'd be a great
awesome
place to live.
And there's over 6,000 lounge chairs on Perfect Day at Coco Key. And Thrill Water Park alone has 13 slides, holds 1,900 guests, over 9 acres, and has 22 cabanas. We could go on and on all day about Perfect Day at Coco Key, but you guys have seen the vlog. It was amazing. Go watch it again if you haven't seen it yet. Are you ready for number 6, Mr. CruiseTipsTV?
Lay it on me.
I know this is one of your favorites, and very much like Perfect Day at Coco Key, it was also a huge adventure day. And it was our day at the Blue Hole in Jamaica. We had docked in Ocho Rios, took this trip with Pete Taylor Tours, And it was an incredible adventure. Go watch the vlog. We probably won't go into a whole lot of detail here on the podcast about the Blue Hole experience because we've talked about it so much. But in short, you're basically traversing waterfalls, jumping off waterfalls, swimming to an area where you can get to the next one. And it's a glorious adventure. Great.
It really is. And that's the way I was going to sum it up. Just say what it was and tell people to go watch that vlog because it's all there in the vlog. It was a really great experience for all of us.
Yes.
Good family fun.
Good family fun. Now let's shift gears entirely for number 7. One of my most absolute memorable days on a cruise, and I know that you will agree this is a great travel memory, was the day that we transited the Panama Canal.
Very cool.
On our Princess cruise. Exceptional. Another vlog we highly recommend that you go and watch. Go watch that Caribbean Princess playlist. But it is just unbelievable. Also highly recommend that if you're going to go on that cruise that you read The Path Between the Seas before you go, all about the history and the construction, the very long construction of the Panama Canal and all that it involved, number of different countries, the tragedies, the sheer human power that went into that is absolutely breathtaking and a wonderful history lesson. So being able to see that area of the world and experience that historically was unreal.
I think that's on a lot of people's bucket lists for good reason.
Yes. Bump it up to the top of your list. Go, go, go. There are affordable opportunities to visit the Panama Canal. If you can do a full transit, do it. We didn't. We did a partial transit and really wished that we would have done a full transit. So that would be my advice to you. But if you can only afford the 10 days on a partial transit, do what you can do. Number 8, another favorite, is ziplining in Puerto Vallarta. When Junior was a little guy with Los Veranos, we were worried about that. We're like, how's he going to do? Is he going to be afraid? Can he handle this? I don't even know how old he was, maybe 7, 8, something like that. I think he was 8. He was little though. And it turned out to be one of the most memorable days of our lives. And when you go back and watch the vlog of Puerto Vallarta, Los Veranos, ziplining, it wasn't the tequila that made it my favorite day, although the tequila tasting at the end is a cool surprise. It was the ziplining itself and the fact that you get to sit at a wonderful restaurant afterward and buy a meal if you would like. And they have this wild water slide from the restaurant.
The fun never ends.
The fun never ends.
It was really cool.
It was really cool. I would do it over again in a heartbeat. If you're a high adventure person and you can handle some physical exertion because hiking from platform to platform in that heat is definitely taxing, then I would recommend it to you. Okay. Number 9 is from pre-junior days, Mr. Cruise Tips TV.
Number 9.
Number 9 is rock climbing in Skagway, Alaska on our Princess cruise. A lot of people probably don't even know that we ever went rock climbing.
It's true.
In Alaska.
We have the photos.
We have the photos to prove it. And I, for one, would like to say that I was absolutely and totally horrific at it. Like, terrible at the rock climbing. I have no upper body strength, as you can see, none.
Well, now, you were great at the rappelling.
Going backwards, down.
Don't sell yourself short. And you made it up, fun. Too. You made it up with encouragement. I think there's a little bit of daredevil involved in that, and I think you had to push past that.
Yes. Well, the daredevil in me has grown quite a bit since then. I'm a little more of an adrenaline junkie, but just getting up the mountain was hard for me. Because you were amazing. You look like Spidey.
Well, it was fun, and I had done it before, so it wasn't. I mean, I had done like walls. I had not gone out and done real rock climbing, but it was a great thing to do, and I was in a lot better shape back then. But if I remember, you made it up very easily to a certain height, and you said, this is as far as I want to go.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But your spotter was saying, no, you want to go higher.
You can get all the way to the top, and I did.
And you did.
I remember sitting on the cliff and looking down and going, oh.
But I just don't want you to make it sound like it's your capability, because I think you were just making a conscious decision that this is enough challenge for me at this point.
Yes. Oh,
but it was super fun. I kind of
forgot that I pushed through that. When I think back on it, I feel like I gave up. It's weird. It's interesting that you have a different memory.
You tried.
I tried to. All right. Well, let's move on so I don't embarrass myself anymore. Number 10 is a really great one, Mr. Cruise Tips TV. It is for another Alaska experience, and it is our experience on the White Pass Rail in Skagway, Alaska. Another Skagway experience. How funny. But what made that day special was, of course, the rail ride. That was unbelievable. It was so cool. And it's something I'll never forget. But we had the opportunity to interview conductor Sika at the end of that trip while the rail was still moving. And boy, was that incredibly special to learn more about him and his passion for the people that come on and off that train every day. And his passion for his job was so inspiring. And I will never forget sitting with him. And, we got all mic'd up and we talked about the questions, and he never stopped smiling and exuding this just peace that I will never forget. And it really makes me want to return to Skagway. And to this day, we always refer people to the White Pass Rail because it was just a life-changing day. It was beautiful, and I just loved it.
He's a fascinating guy. If you haven't seen the vlog, go ahead and check it out. But I will say that I talked to some of the other crew, if that's the right way to say, and they're all fascinating. They're all very passionate about what they do, and you can see it in their face. I mean, when they just go, when you talk to them, they're smiling and they're happy, and then they turn around, they go back to their jobs, they keep smiling.
Yeah, they do.
It's enviable.
It is enviable. That's our top 10 list. What do you think?
Beautiful.
Beautiful stuff, good memories, wonderful things to think about. We want to close out the show today with a few listener spotlights. We want to thank Jason Peterson and our friend Vernon for their amazing 5-star reviews. I'm going to read Vernon's first. Vernon's almost made me cry because this one was just incredibly sweet. He said, CruiseTipsTV Unplugged is a great continuation of their YouTube channel, which I've loved and followed for years. The podcast is like sitting down over coffee and having a conversation about cruising with a good friend. I look forward to Wednesdays so I can listen to the next episode. CruiseTipsTV, you are part of my family.
So nice.
Vernon, thank you. Jason Peterson, thank you so much for your 5-star review. Jason said, informative, fun cruise podcast by a cute couple. Well, thank you, Jason.
Is he talking about us?
Are we cute? I don't know.
You're cute.
Sherry and her hubby give you the scoop on cruise news, and when we're cruising again, they will be relaying their cruise experiences. Yes, Jason, we can't wait. They bring a wealth of info and cruise tips regarding everything from booking to packing and onboard experiences and excursions, plus so much more. They cover all mainstream cruise lines and then some. Their playful banter is enjoyable and couple goals. They use the format effectively to be able to bring a deeper dive into cruise topics than you can get from a blog post or a video. I'm sure you will enjoy them and their positive attitudes as much as we do. Jason, thank you so much. Vernon, thank you so much for that incredibly thoughtful review. Means the world to us, you guys. Thank you so much for doing that. Especially, it's easy for us to pick them up on, is it iTunes? iTunes, Apple Podcasts is where we can get them. But if you are writing a review from somewhere else, screenshot it and send it to me just like Vernon did, and I'll be sure to read it aloud. Thank you, co-host. This was so fun and so different.
Happy 100th.
Thank you. Happy 100. Happy 2 years. Can't wait for next week's fun episode as well. And until next time, friends, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.